Hey, kind faith people, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Hi, friends.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Marci.
We're glad that you joined us, and we're talking about mistakes we made that you shouldn't make.
Yeah, like there's so many.
We could go for a year.
I know.
We're going to give you a song to start off with, though, because, you know, it's how we roll. Cheesy is better than no cheese at all, right? The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but the wise man is he who listens to counsel.
Oh my gosh, you're like wooing the camera on that one. Wow.
The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but the wise man is he who listens to counsel. The reason we sang that is because it encapsulates all that we've been talking about, or we want to talk about today. And we took a class together, Crown Ministries class, which is just like Dave Ramsey, about finances together. And we had to memorize scripture. And the only way we could memorize it together was come up with a song for each scripture we had to memorize.
Yeah, it's just a memory trick, but it was kind of, the other people in the class thought I was completely an idiot.
Yeah,
That's
it
okay,
was.
I don't mind.
It was hilarious. But
I got my homework done.
Our conversation today is we made the mistake of not engaging educational material about how to do marriage soon enough.
Right.
We wish we had engaged that consistently throughout our whole marriage. In fact, we've been pretty hit or miss throughout our whole marriage.
Right, and when we first started, literally when we first started, so pre-engagement, we had taken, we knew it was important to take pre-engagement counseling, and we took pre-engagement counseling. We took the prepare test, and it told us, like I said in our very first video, that we're 98% incompatible or something like that. But what it didn't tell us why, and it didn't tell us what to do with that, and it didn't tell us, okay, well, Jeff's this and I'm this, so, we didn't know how to connect with each other. And so I think maybe 5 years in, we took a Myers-Briggs test, but then we didn't do really anything. Okay, Myers-Briggs is a personality test, introvert, extrovert. So we learned about that, but that didn't really tell us, well, what does that mean? That I'm an introvert.
Well, we didn't do the work. Really, at the end of the day, right? We didn't do the work. We kind of took it. And same with prepare, but we didn't dive in and do the work to engage it.
And we didn't have anybody leading us or coaching us through it, through that information and how it actually affects you. So until I think maybe year 15 or 20, we took the Strength Finders test, which tells you your top 5 strengths out of 36 or something, 37. And we're very different. Okay, we're very different. Again, no surprise, because
every assessment we've ever taken says we're different.
Right. Right. However, in the Strength Finders test, we had a discussion with somebody who told us, okay, well, Jeff's top 5 strengths are
positivity, arranger, strategic, and developer.
Okay, great. And my top strengths are responsibility and individualization, and I can't even remember the rest of mine. So
connecting.
Right, I'm a connector. But the thing is that those strengths can collide, because when I'm being responsible and I feel like, okay, the house needs to be clean. Every Saturday, the house needs to be clean. And Jeff is like, woo, means winning others over. Or arranging. He's like, I don't want my Saturday to be cleaning the house. So how do these two deal with each other? Because he doesn't want to live in a messy house or an unclean house, and neither do I. So when do we clean? And how do we come to a conclusion about that? So we were approaching things completely differently, and our mistake was that I wish we would have done that in year 5. It's like you have to have enough time go by in your marriage to have some things happen and have some patterns happen. And then when you take these tests, they mean more.
Yeah, and here's why they mean something significant. The outside professional voice or assessment or book or Bible study, we're not talking about any specific thing. It could be the Enneagram, it could be Strength Finders, it could be Myers-Briggs, it could be the DISC, it could be, there's thousands out there, right? But it's about bringing in a third voice, because most of the time as a couple, we're sitting there having these conversations about our point of view and our ideas, and we become polarized. We take sides, and it's just natural for polar. I'm holding the battery this way.
Okay, I'm holding the globe. Top and bottom.
So the outside voice depolarizes the conversation and allows you to bring in a third party to engage, and that's a part of the real power of it. Is that it engages that voice, so you can begin to not talk at each other, but with someone together. And whether that someone is a book or a Bible study that's been constructed, or an assessment that's been made, or even someone who's coaching you through it, it's a powerful shift in the dynamic of the relationship that will allow you to grow.
Right, and the fact that it's an expert in that field, it doesn't, so what it does is, when on the depolarization in layman's terms talk, dumbing it down for me, is that you're not taking, okay, well, Jeff's, the finance guy and I'm not, or his background, he liked to spend money and I like to save money, and whose way is right, whose way is the right way, and this is the way my family did it. We balanced our checking account every month. This is the way his family did it, whatever the scenario is. And so it puts you on the same page with language and action.
Yeah, so that's the depolarization piece. That's why it's so important, and it should be happening regularly. The other piece is, it kind of doesn't matter what you choose, because it's about having a common language to share together. So when we do these assessments or read the books or do the Bible studies, and they give you a framework to understand your relationship, there's nothing inspired about that. There's nothing God ordained about this is the right one and wrong one. Enneagram is the only way to go, or Myers-Briggs is the only. No, it's a framework that will provide scaffolding to engage conversation. That's really its whole purpose. So there's not a right way or a wrong way to do it. The Strength Finders is a great example. We enjoy that very much, but I've, as a coach, have given Strength Finders to other people, and they're like, this is meaningless to me. It just doesn't help me. And same with Myers-Briggs. An important part to this, to know about these assessments, this is just background information, fun fact, sidebar, if you will. There's 3 major types of assessments. At the top of the assessment world is behavioral assessments. So Strength Finders is about behavior. DISC is about behavior. Even Golden is about behavior. And then below that is personality types, like Myers-Briggs and Enneagram. Those are 2 personality types. And below that it's the more substantial, professionally driven types of assessments coming out of the DSM, or the Psychological Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychology, that allows you to assess psychological health. That's the realm of professionals. You can go there if you want, but you can live in those first 2 categories quite a bit. Done. Yeah, get a lot done. So bringing in the outside education depolarizes the relationship, and then it gives you a common language. Tell me about your experience trying to get me to do these.
So here's the thing. Girls like to do this stuff. Girls like to, they see, if you want to know, another thing that we did about 10 years into our marriage is we took some Gary Smalley classes learning about the language of love, and how,
I totally forgot about that.
how you talk to each other. And women, if you want to know how healthy your marriage is, you ask the woman on a scale of 1 to 10, how healthy is the marriage? Because the guy will say, oh, we're doing great. If like I would say a 9 or a 10, and the woman will say it's like a 5 or a 6.
on a general basis. Sometimes it's flipped. Sometimes the guy's more aware.
Right. Okay. Right. But
so, what's the difference between guys and girls?
Women guys and girls.
love
to do this stuff. Women love to do this stuff because they're sensitive to their relationship, and they're sensitive to all the areas of their relationship, whether it's financial strain or religious strain or whatever, or sexual strain. You know,
or just assessment and evaluation at all.
Right. Or children strain, parenting, whatever it is.
It's no mystery that there's a quiz in every woman's magazine every time it comes out.
Oh my gosh, right. I mean, who didn't read, okay, all you girls out there, I know you were all reading Cosmo, who's the best husband and what's your list and all that stuff. I mean, that was popular when I was younger. So, okay, so.
Girls love it. What about guys?
Girls love it. Guys, not so much. Guys,
we hate this stuff.
Why do guys like this stuff? Why? It's so good.
I would say for me, this may resonate with many of the guys. I don't think this is universal, right? Not all guys are the same, so we can't talk in huge generalities in that regard. But for me personally, I have an internal resistance on two fronts. Front number one is I am afraid of being put in a box. I'm afraid that the assessment is going to be used to weaponize, is going to be weaponized and used against me. So it becomes a source of judgment against me. And that may be a guy thing, that may be your thing, even as a woman. And so that builds resistance. And the important caution, like if I could put a red banner down here, and maybe somebody will, and it says caution, with flashing red lights. The caution would be, do not weaponize this. Do not use this to categorize, to dictate, to determine, to judge the behavior of your spouse. The point of this is conversational, not categorical. The importance of it is conversational, not categorical. You're not trying to put them in a category. In fact, when we took Strength Finders, what was really helpful for me in that was I got to own the definition of a ranger. Like it was there on the paper and Marci could read it and say, oh yeah, this does align with you. But it was for me to say, this is how this fits me and this is how it doesn't. And this is the way I express that. And same with her responsibility. She got to tell me what responsibility looked like for her. And it wasn't for me to lay that on her and use it as a way to point out things I didn't like about her.
Or to say, well, you're the responsible one, so you need to do all the bills and all the laundry and all the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No. Or, for me to say to him, well, you're the arranger, so you have to clean out all the kitchen cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
However, what's beautiful about it is the responsible person, we could blend them. So the responsible person says, okay, well, we need to get the kitchen organized. And I really don't have the Marie Kondo joy, if it brings joy or if it doesn't bring joy, dump it skill in me. I mean, I'm so responsible that I think I could use that in 10 years. Whatever, maybe someday. So I call in the arranger to just go, I really need help with this shelf. And Jeff comes in and does it. And it's awesome.
And that brings us to the third point. So the first point about getting education from outside is it depolarizes. The second point is it gives you common language. The third point is it gives you a way to celebrate and embrace each other's differences. And that's probably the key, not to weaponize it, but to celebrate it. And so I now celebrate the responsibility that Marci brings to things and allow it to correct me it's really important because that's not one of my strengths. I am a responsible person, but responsibility isn't my strength. And so when I get called out by Marci, hey, are we being responsible here? It's a wonderful thing for me because it allows me to step and say, oh, that's her strength. I want to use that strength. And this at the end of the day is maybe for us the most critical point in all of this, that God made us different. And we tend to expect our spouse to be like us, to think like us, to act like us, to have the same intuitive insights like us, and we get frustrated when they don't.
I want to ask this question before you wrap it up, since you're doing really well at this. How can we encourage our guys to, our guy audience to engage with education and embrace it? So
guys have an inherent fear about this, or some people may have an inherent fear. I think it's guys. The second thing for guys is that they're busy. They've got a ton of stuff on their mind in general about their world, and so bringing in something that's outside their world is hard as well. And my encouragement would be, guys, just do it as an act of love for your spouse. If she wants to do it, do it. Even better, if you find something and initiate, that'd be even more fantastic. But at the end of the day, saying yes to it and putting aside your need for fulfilling your needs to take attention and give attention to her desire in this is just huge. It's just a statement of love. And I think, at least for me, I'm primarily responsible for us not doing this because I provided the most resistance over the course of our marriage. I was the one saying, I do this for a living, I teach all the time, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm always taking care of people, I just need a break, which was all legitimate, but a cop-out at the same time.
Right, and some of you guys, I mean, you have your MBA in finance, and you're, we're in the Silicon Valley, so you could be leading a Fortune 500 company or whatever, and really you need to take a finance class with your wife, but if she's wanting to do it, she hasn't taken those classes, or vice versa, he hasn't taken those classes, so one of you is lesser educated in that department of whatever it is. It doesn't have to be money. Whatever it is, one of you is lesser educated. So allow each other the space and give each other that gift of, okay, we're going to do this together, and treat it like an adventure of, we're going to do this together. And you may laugh about it because it's like, oh my gosh, that was so lame. Do you believe that was said? Or that person in the class was like, oh my gosh, we're so much better off than they are. Or, oh my gosh, whatever. So treat it as an adventure, like you're going to a cocktail party or something like that, rather than, oh, it's agony. I can't believe I'm doing this on Wednesday night. The football game's on, or whatever. Just, you're going to do it as a gift. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we encourage you to engage an outside expert voice in whatever form. It might be somebody who's structured a Bible study for couples. It may be a class that you take. It may be YouTube videos you watch. We want this to be that kind of resource for you so that you can engage and have conversation together about growing together. So in all of it, the mistake we made was not engaging these outside professional educational resources enough. We encourage you to do that early enough. And enough. I would say enough.
Right. And also, I want to say on the flip side, respect the other person. So if the wife or the husband is going to church and the spouse isn't, they may not want to go to a Bible study. I mean, at all. And so we have dear friends that's definitely part of their marriage, and they have chosen, she has respected her husband and his opinion on that. And so we're hoping that guys and girls, that you'll engage together and at least try it once. And if you choose not to do it, then respect that too.
Yeah. So we'll give you resources below. Some easy assessments to take and have conversations, some Bible studies you could do, some classes you could take, all of that we'll put below. And then engage that and grow in it. That we're going to close out with this scripture passage.
Proverbs 15:14. A wise person is hungry for knowledge, while the fool feeds on trash.
A wise person is hungry for knowledge and wisdom, and a fool feeds on trash. So we want to be wise. We encourage you to be wise, and we encourage everybody watching to be hungry for knowledge, and particularly, and the best is the knowledge that comes from God and Scripture. It's so powerful. So we'll put some Bible studies down there for you.
Right.
Hope that you engage them.
And the trash, what I think of as trash is listening to your friends or getting other people's opinions or getting opinions from Instagram, rather than, not that Instagram's bad, but just not having a common language between the two of you. So if you're getting all your opinions, well, so-and-so said this, and this is how we should handle it. If it's not coming together between the two of you, then it's not helpful.
Yeah. Togetherness is really critical in this.
Go on the adventure together.
Yep. So God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate that you spend time engaging this. We hope that you would hit the like button, that you'd send us questions or comments below. We love the questions and comments. And if you want to reach out for counseling, we're happy to do that with you. You can go to thekindfaith.org and hit the email button, and we'll be there available for you. So have a great week.
We're so proud of you all for getting healthier in your marriages and encouraging each other. So yeah, have a great week. Love you. Bye.